Hey fam, welcome back to Marshawn Olanio. I am Marshawn Olanio, your favorite shift relationship strategist, where I help Black Christian women that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now, what are you sick and tired of doing? You're sick and tired of trying to figure out how to show up in your relationship. You're sick and tired of trying to figure out how to make the man love you. You're sick and tired of trying to understand him more and to be understood. You're sick and tired of your communication lacking or not being there at all. So you are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I'm here to try to help you with the tools, tips, and strategies that I myself did not receive as well. And so I want to impart them to you so you can take these things and create a beautiful, healthy, romantic relationship, because many of us are not able to do that because we don't have the correct information, right? So now I'm here to answer the question today: how long should I wait before I start dating again after a breakup? Now, this is Ask Marshawn, right? So if you are on YouTube and you want to leave me a question to answer for you, you can put it down in the comment section below, or you can send me an email at marshawn@marshawnolanio.com, and that is in the description box. If you are on Facebook and you want to send me a question to answer for you, you also can comment down below, or you can send me a private DM. So now let's jump into my reasonings and my thinking about how long it should take for you to start dating again after a breakup or even after a divorce. So before I jump into the things that I wanted to say, I want to say I did a tiny bit of research on this, and some therapists say that you should wait 1 month for each year that you were in a relationship. So for example, if you were in a relationship for 10 years, you should wait a minimum of 10 months before you start dating again. If you were in a 5-year relationship, then you should wait a minimum of 5 months to start dating. I want to continue with that and say that there is really no magic one-size-fits-all answer for everybody that's been in a relationship before and now is experiencing a breakup or a divorce. You really have to figure out what works for you and the things that you need to do. So what I'm going to do is share some of the things that you need to concentrate on before you start dating again. And here's the thing: some of these things may be tougher than others, which is going to lead you to figuring out a time frame that works for you, right? So it might be slower, it might be faster. I think that these are the minimum steps that you should be taking before you start dating again, so you can attract somebody better, as well as you are able to grow so you can be better the next time around. So the first thing I want you to do, and first thing I want you to think about, is to reflect on why the relationship ended. Why did the relationship travel the road that it traveled and came to its final destination, the ending point? What happened in the relationship? I want you to reflect on how you chose your mate before. Were you very intentional putting yourself out there, or did you kind of just date and give your time, attention, and energy to the first person that gave you some attention? Maybe it was months and years before somebody paid you enough attention to want to be in a relationship with you, so you just jumped at the chance for fear of no one else wants to date me or nobody else is going to come around, so just give this person a chance. So you just went with the flow versus being very intentional about knowing the type of man that you want to date, knowing what your deal breakers are, knowing your wants, needs, and desires, knowing what you want your life to look like in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, and if this person fits into what you have as your view of a relationship. And the extension of that is into a marriage. So did you do your due diligence before just jumping into a relationship, or did you just jump in the hopes that things would go the way that you wanted them to go? So reflecting on these things and will be a really great exercise for you, because then again, you're able to see the things that you did right as well as the things that you did wrong. And now the next time around, you can be better at putting these things in place so you don't have to deal with them again. So the next thing that I want you to focus on is what part you played in the failing or the demise of your relationship. So again, we're not blaming We're not pointing the finger at the other person. This is an exercise that I want you to do solely about yourself. Were you true to your word? When you said that you were going to do something, did you actually do that thing? Right? When you said that you were going to call because you wanted the person to make sure that you got home safely, right? Or did you call to make sure that he or she actually made it home safely, right? Did you honor your word, or were you just lying about any and everything, or lying by omission? Because a lot of people don't think that lying by omission is lying. What is lying by omission, for those of you who don't know? Lying by omission is knowing that you have some information that would help your partner or spouse understand the situation well, but because they didn't ask that particular question, you did not divulge that information. So you're lying by omission by omitting pertinent information that your spouse would need in order to have a full picture of the conversation or the thing that you're discussing. So did you lie by omission, right? Just keeping your word. Were you respectful, right? Or were you being very disrespectful? Were you giving the silent treatment, right? So what did you do to make the relationship fail? Not your spouse, not your partner, or ex-partner, ex-spouse. What did you do? These fingers are for you. I want you to sit down and literally pin it out so you can have a visual of what you actually did, so you don't do these things again. Because here's the thing, where you're at right now, and if you stay in the state that you're currently in, and then start to try to date again without doing this introspective work, you will attract the same type of person. And then guess what? A year, 2, 6 months, because really it could be very, very soon. Now you're in the roller coaster and on the hamster wheel of another breakup. We have to do our inner work before we jump into the next relationship. And that's where so many of us are failing at, which is why we have the divorce rate sky high. So it's 50% for the majority of the US, right? 50% of people that get married are going to get divorced. In the Black community, it is 56%. So we are at a higher rate of chances of getting a divorce in their first marriage. The second and third marriage is even higher for the divorce rate. But a lot of it becomes from us not doing our work and continuing to do our work, because your healing journey is not a destination. It is something that you have to continue to do and go through. You see that something has triggered you in your new relationship. Well, most people don't deal with that. They're thinking, what did this person do? Why are you taking me down this road? Not realizing that that stemmed from somewhere else, from your past. And now you are punishing your current partner for your past. But it's also because you didn't do your work and heal from that, or really try to figure out why you're reacting like that. So the next time it happens, you have a clue to say, this is coming back up. And then you can self-correct instead of going down the spiral yourself. The third thing that I want you to think about as far as how long you should wait before you start dating again after a breakup is, if your last relationship was a very painful one, or even super difficult for whatever reason, waiting longer and again doing this inner work is going to be that much more beneficial for you, to not attract the same energy that you were attracting before, to not just jump in because somebody is now paying you attention. You want to be very, very, very intentional about how you're showing up, the mate that you're choosing, because your partner, your spouse, is one of the top choices that we need to slow down and make. It's literally like purchasing a large purchase, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, whether it's a boat, etc. Right? Whatever the large purchase that you can think of, your spouse can actually help you get to the next level in life, or I should say not help you, right? Help you not get there. So they're going to deviate you from your path that much longer. until you decide to jump off the train or they decide to leave you. Whatever the case may be, the end result will be the same. It is a breakup. The fourth thing that I want you to think about is, what lessons did you learn from this relationship? You are intentionally thinking about what you learned from this relationship. So again, you do not have to repeat the same thing over and over again. And I like the way Oprah phrases this. She says that if you learn the lesson, then you don't have to repeat a remedial class from a new skirt or a new pair of pants. So obviously skirt woman, pants man, right? So the only way you're going to be able to move forward is by stopping the patterns, by stopping the behaviors. And all of that starts with you, sis. All of this starts and stops with you. You have to be intentional about the way that you're showing up. You have to be intentional about the things that you're doing. You have to be intentional about the things that you're saying. You have to be intentional about watching your triggers. You have to be intentional about releasing your baggage. You have to be intentional in order to create the life that you want to live. I'm your girl, Marshawn Alanio, your favorite shift relationship strategist, and you are watching Ask Marshawn, and we just answered the question, how long should you wait after a breakup before you start dating? I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it, and I will see you in the next Ask Marshawn. Deuces, y'all.